In the world of comic books, few characters stand as powerful and relentless as Cassandra Nova and Magneto. Both have shaped the fates of their respective universes with unparalleled strength, strategic genius, and an undeniable thirst for domination. But if these two were to clash, who would ultimately triumph? Would the malevolent psychic, Cassandra Nova, be able to overcome Magneto's world-altering powers? Or would the Master of Magnetism's ironclad will be enough to stop her? In this battle of wills, let's break down the strengths, weaknesses, and possibilities before reaching a final conclusion on who would win. Cassandra Nova, the terrifying psychic mastermind. Cassandra Nova, the twin sister of Charles Xavier, is a being of immense psychic power, with a history that is as tragic as it is terrifying. While her origins tie her closely to Charles, it is her dark turn to villainy that defines her in the Marvel Universe. Nova is no mere telepath. Her abilities transcend what most psychics can achieve. She can manipulate minds, control biological matter, and warp reality itself. However, her true power lies not just in her telepathic strength, but also in her sheer ruthlessness and lack of moral restraint. What sets Cassandra apart from other telepaths is her ability to manipulate the very fabric of life. She can influence a person's thoughts and actions with a mere thought. But what makes her particularly deadly is her ability to directly control the cells in a person's body, essentially reshaping their biological structures. She is a master manipulator, known for taking over entire populations, bringing cities to their knees with little more than her mind. Cassandra's psychic prowess also extends to telekinesis, which allows her to physically manipulate objects around her. But it's her ability to manipulate minds and reality that makes her a formidable adversary. Despite her immense power, she's often portrayed as arrogant and overconfident, underestimating her enemies and failing to recognize when she's outmatched. Magneto, the Master of Magnetism. Magneto, on the other hand, is one of the most iconic villains in comic history. With his control over all things magnetic, he commands the power to move metal with his mind, create force fields, and manipulate the Earth's electromagnetic fields. His powers are incredibly versatile, allowing him to control everything from metal objects to the very Earth beneath his feet. Magneto's abilities are enhanced by his genius intellect and battle strategy. He is a skilled tactician and has led both the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants at different times, always keeping an eye on the larger picture. His ability to create powerful magnetic fields gives him control over almost any environment, particularly when it comes to using metal as both a weapon and a shield. Another key factor in Magneto's favor is his indomitable will. Despite the tragic losses he's faced, including the destruction of his family, Magneto remains steadfast in his belief that mutants are superior to humans and must rule. This belief, combined with his power, makes him a relentless and dangerous foe. But Magneto isn't invulnerable. His powers are limited in certain environments, and he's vulnerable to attacks that target his mind or his will. That said, his helmet provides crucial protection against telepathic assaults, which gives him an edge against someone like Cassandra Nova, who relies on psychic control to win battles. The battle unfolds: magnetism versus psychic power. Now that we've established the powers of both combatants, let's dive into how their battle might unfold. Imagine a confrontation where the stakes are high. Cassandra Nova enters the battle with her usual arrogance, underestimating Magneto's power. She launches an immediate psychic attack, probing his mind in an attempt to manipulate him, but Magneto's helmet blocks her telepathic intrusion. Realizing her initial strategy has failed, Cassandra shifts her focus, attempting to manipulate the very molecules in Magneto's body. She attempts to disrupt his nervous system, which could incapacitate him. However, Magneto is far from helpless. He senses her approach and uses his magnetic abilities to create an electromagnetic pulse, temporarily short-circuiting her ability to directly control him. The pulse throws off her psychic attack, leaving her momentarily vulnerable. Cassandra is quick to recover, using her telekinesis to fling nearby debris at Magneto, attempting to overwhelm him with a barrage of metal. Magneto, though, is far more adept at controlling his environment. With a flick of his hand, he manipulates the metal back toward Cassandra, creating a vortex of spinning debris that she barely dodges. At this point, the battle turns into a game of cat and mouse. Cassandra Nova uses her psychic abilities to try and cloud Magneto's mind, confusing him and creating illusions to distract him. But Magneto is no stranger to mental manipulation. Having faced off against countless telepaths and psychic foes, he's learned to rely on his intellect and determination to resist such attacks. As the battle continues, Magneto begins to turn the tide. He starts to target Cassandra's biological makeup, using his magnetic powers to manipulate the very molecules of her body. By distorting the electromagnetic forces around her cells, Magneto begins to destabilize her form, slowly weakening her physical structure. It's a delicate and subtle strategy, but it's one that he's perfected over years of practice. Cassandra tries to counter this by focusing her psychic power inward, attempting to counteract the effects of Magneto's magnetic manipulation. But she's fighting against an adversary who not only controls metal, but can influence the very forces that govern her body. Her focus is diverted, and Magneto presses his advantage. The final clash, Magneto's victory. In the final moments of the battle, Cassandra's overconfidence leads to her downfall. As she attempts one last, desperate psychic strike to incapacitate Magneto, he anticipates her move. With a final surge of power, Magneto uses his control over the Earth's magnetic field to create a massive pulse that disrupts the very core of her psychic abilities. The shockwave knocks her off balance, and for the first time in the battle, Cassandra is left vulnerable. Magneto moves in quickly, manipulating the magnetic field around her to constrict her body, making it impossible for her to move. With her cells manipulated and her mind overwhelmed, Cassandra falls to her knees, unable to fight back any longer. Magneto stands victorious, his powers proving to be too much for Cassandra Nova's psychic might. Conclusion: the winner of the battle. In the end, while Cassandra Nova's psychic powers are immense, Magneto's control over the electromagnetic forces of the world provides him with the tools he needs to overcome her. His helmet protects him from her mind games, and his magnetic abilities give him the ability to manipulate both the environment and her body, making her attacks ineffective. Despite her genius and ruthlessness, Cassandra's arrogance and reliance on psychic power ultimately cost her the fight. Magneto's tactical mind and mastery of magnetism gave him the edge in a battle that was as much about strategy as it was about raw power. Therefore, Magneto would emerge as the victor in this battle, proving once again why he is one of the most formidable figures in the Marvel Universe. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.